Thank you. Hey, Patton, pass the sugar bowl when you're done with it. Ugh! The tea! It's terrible. I concur. Most unpleasant. What? Who says that you've got to put sugar in a sugar bowl? Why not, to pick a completely random example off the top of my head, salt. Briny.
A truth taken out of context can quickly become a lie, and as you are no doubt aware, I'm extremely averse to lying. Remus, I would like to challenge Logan to a chess match.
Yeah, and?
I want to win.
Ha! Dream on, Danger Noodle.
Your faith in me is comforting. I think I could stand a decent chance, especially if I utilise my particular skill set.
You mean cheating like it's going out of fashion?
Precisely. And so I'm inviting you to provide some distraction.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Okay.
Remus, what have I said about carrying radioactive waste through the common area?
Don't carry radioactive waste through the common area. Instead of carry a box though, that helps.
I thought you were going to cheat. I did. But Logan's winning. He's in a much stronger position than you. I can see that. Oh, I've got an idea. Yes? Have you tried not sucking at chess?
Oh, I'm so pleased with him.
Excuse me?
Remus, he's been drawing much nicer things of late. He's been showing me.
That sounds very like him. What has he been drawing?
Well, there was a sketch of a lollipop, and one of a package with a bow, and a woodpecker, and an eggplant, and a door handle.
Knob.
Excuse me?
Not a door handle pattern, a doorknob. Please continue.
And a sausage, and a chicken.
I believe it was a male chicken. I believe specifically it was a male chicken, otherwise known as a...
Oh, a rooster.
Yes. Remus has been drawing nice things. How lovely. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go and have some very lovely words with the artist in question. It's not funny. Okay, I'll grant it is a little bit funny. Patton is going to be horrified when he learns he's been congratulating you on your extensive collection of colloquial and coy terms for cockerels. Logan, you need to educate Patton.
Pardon?
Patton needs a crash course on euphemisms for genitalia.
Pardon?
Teach. You are required to teach.
I do not follow.
Remus has a sketchbook.
Yes.
In it he has been drawing a collection of euphemisms for male genitalia. Patton saw these but has not realised that they are referencing male chickens.
Oh.
And so, to avoid this becoming any more of a hot mess, let us hasten Patton to an understanding that Remus is not drawing nice things. Logan?
I regret to inform you that I too had not grasped the theme that Remus was employing. I did think it odd that he was so pleased with his rendition of a joystick. Those fell out of fashion as gaming technology years ago.
You as well? Woo! Janus, I found this in my lab today. Hey, Logan, I owe you a replacement flask of formaldehyde. Your science buddy, RS. P.S. Don't ask. I suggest, for sake of both our sanities, that we do not inquire further. However, you may wish to conduct a quick head count of the light sides, just in case. I do not think that the horseshoe crab likes that. How can you tell?
Call it an educated guess.
Well, if it didn't want to be thrown about, it shouldn't look like a frisbee.
Since becoming aware of a piece of fan fiction concerning Logan and a jar of jam, Logan has been valiantly ignoring Remus and a slew of dramatic readings from the fanfic, calls for reenactment, and various explicit speculations about Logan's personal life. And then there was the finger puppet. Remus crafted a finger puppet of Logan's likeness, which he then proceeded to hump a jar of jam with. The jar of jam had googly eyes, and the resulting motion Remus found absolutely hysterical. Logan held his mettle, and that should be the end of the story. However, Remus had not grabbed Logan's jar of jam, but Roman's. How nice that all the light sides got their very own jars of jam. Whilst Logan could remain stoic in the face of Remus's antics, Roman did not. There has since been a lot of screaming and shouting and swearing from the light sides, as well as Remus crafting a range of finger puppets in provocative poses and suggestive situations. However, it means that Logan has managed to successfully wait out Remus's interest, as he has now found a new source of entertainment. Personally, I would have not knocked him upside the head with my staff days ago. You definitely want to set another sketchbook alight. Slow down. Oh. Dare I ask what you are working on?
More sketches for Patton.
You are aware that he now knows about euphemisms. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Your grin is giving me absolutely no cause for alarm.
Well, since you gave the game away to virality, I've been drawing other stuff. Not gross nor spicy. Look, see? I've got a candle with some hat pins in it, and a fork with a ribbon.
As usual, I understand you completely.
Well, Patton now thinks that any time I draw something that isn't awful, it's a euphemism for something rude. So I've been drawing lots of random stuff, and he's going to think they're all spicy terms for things to do in the night.
I do not say this often enough. You are a demented genius, Remus.
I know. Hey, I want to teach you some stuff, so I've borrowed Nogan's glasses.
You mean you, without warning or permission, grabbed them off my face and show no inclination of returning them anytime soon?
That's what I said, borrowed. We're going to play a new game I invented called Alternative Words for Naughty Bits That Totally Fooled Plurality. I'm going to show you my sketchbook, and you've got to guess the euphemisms. Some are easier than others, and you can pause if you need more time. And I'll tell you the answers at the end. Ready? Here we go. Answer time. Cockerel, boner, knob, package, and pickle. Let me know if you want to do round two, because I've got loads of sketches.
Apparently there are some words that Remus cannot be trusted with. As such, there is no Rule 69. How very mature. I do not understand. What is particular about the number 69?
Oh boy, Nogan, get a ream of vocab cards ready, because I'm about to school you good. This is going to end well.
You're doing them wrong.
I'm not.
Unicorns don't have 6 legs. Or venomous pincers.
I bet you don't like the poison stinger I give it either.
No, that's not a unicorn. It's an abomination.
I gave it one proper horn this time.
That horn is viciously jagged.
Yeah.
It's not a unicorn.
Unicorns are fictional. Who's to say they don't skitter about like a spider, or are nocturnal, or are exclusively carnivorous? Tell you what, you make one too, and we'll put them against each other to see which is the best.
I suspect your monsters have something of an advantage in combat.
Well, give yours a machine gun on its back then, or make it spit acid.
I could make it shoot rainbows from its horn, and when it sings, the notes fill the air like sunlight.
Yes! Bright, scorching sunlight that burns everything. Oh, this is going to be epic. Blood will stain the sands in a gory battle to the death.
No, no death.
Ah. Still going to be really cool to see what you come up with, though.
Greetings, Remus. Is something up?
Sorry, too used to you being literal. Janus is being an overgrown trouser snake. He put in a bunch of rules banning my blunderbuss, which is annoying because I just made a bunch of stink pellets.
That is unfortunate. My condolences.
Nah, don't worry. I've still got a bazooka, but I'll have to change the ammunition up or it could clog up and backfire. Oh, it could clog up and backfire.
May I also take this opportunity to vent about a situation I find frustrating?
Of course.
Patton and Roman and Virgil have been staying up late watching TV. They are often reluctant to turn in for the night, and it is disrupting their sleeping patterns. I also do not think it is setting a good example for Thomas.
Have you tried tasers? Tasers are very good for getting people to move, and I can lend you a couple if you like. Plus some water balloons for added conductivity.
I would prefer a non-violent means to clearing the room.
Nah. Oh, Deep Blue, I've just had the most amazing idea. Remus.
Yeah?
Patton informs me that the light side has been rendered near uninhabitable by an atrocious stench.
Did Roman eat too many beans?
This coincides with the fact that I have put in a rule about you and your blunderbuss and the associated stink pellets not but a few hours ago. So do these events have any commonality?
Yes. But also, I didn't break any of the rules.
Explain.
I gave my blunderbuss to Logan.
You what?
I gave my blunderbuss to Logan. The rule was that I couldn't fire it, but there's nothing against Logan testing out my new stinks. The fermented bin juice one is really awful. Thank you for coming, Logan. I've called you here to clear up a small matter between Remus and me and his rulebook.
Very well.
Remus gave you his blunderbuss, correct?
Indeed.
And you knew it was armed with stink pellets.
I did.
You were not tricked or coerced in any manner.
Not at all.
Blackmailed?
No.
Threatened?
Again, no.
Then, why?
Remus provided solution to an issue I was having. Turns out it was highly effective.
The tasers would have been fun too.
We shall keep that as an option should the problem persist. Logan, it is not book group day, so I was expecting company. I can fetch another cup if you would like to join me for tea.
No need. I came here to discuss the rules you put in place for Remus.
Yes?
I think you should not do that anymore. You seem to think that Remus had been responsible for the stink pellets being used last night.
In fairness, Remus usually is at the epicentre of most incidents.
And in doing so broken one of these rules.
I'm loath to admit it, but he did not.
The rules seem unfair. He seems willing to abide by what you lay out for him against his nature. It puts you in a position of power and authority over him, and as an equal side, he should not be subjected to such.
I take it you have not spoken to Remus about these ever so terrible rules, then. I would try to convince you that my intentions are non-malicious, but as I am so often taken as insincere, it would be best talking to Remus himself. Logan! I've got some new stink pelts for you to try. One's called rotted whale carcass.
No, thank you. I think that I perhaps do not know all there is to a situation. I seek your input.
Do you want to hear what I have to say? Sure, ask away. Any question?
Janus's rules for you. Do you dislike having to abide by them?
Huh? No. Sure, the rules are annoying in what they forbid, but the contradicting Cobra knows enough to leave possible misinterpretations of the wording or loopholes for me. It's like a game. Janus puts in a rule, and then I work round it like a woodworm through a very important structural beam of a hospital. Helps me not get bored, because being bored is the worst.
I fear I may have misjudged Janus's motivations.
You didn't say anything to him, did you?
I did.
Oh, well, it was nice knowing you. I don't even want to stand too close in case I get caught up in the grudgy, sneaky rage radius.
Beep. Hello again, Janus.
Logan.
I have consulted with Remus, who explained that the rulebook is a useful tool for circumnavigating boredom and not a source of discontent. I apologise for attempting to meddle in something I did not understand, and for thinking that you would do anything that would harm Remus.
It is an extremely rare occurrence that I am accused of evil intent. I am used to it by now. However, I can see that you at least meant well. How truly awful it is to have somebody else looking out for Remus, other than myself. It always was easier when there were two of
taking
us.
this very graciously. Remus was convinced you would have had more of a volatile reaction.
That may be because Remus inspires more volatile reactions.
May I see them?
On the understanding that Remus does not need help circumnavigating the rules. He is quite adept without assistance. Meat glue.
Pardon?
Glue for meat. Meat glue.
I most definitely want to engage with this conversation.
It's a chemical enzyme that melts down meat proteins. Logan told me about it. You can stick bits of meat together, even from different animals.
Not interacting, not encouraging further explanation.
So I was wondering, if I got some meat glue and some bacon and pork chops and ham, maybe I could reconstitute a pig.
I will remind you that there is a rule forbidding reanimation after the chicken nugget incident.
Yeah. Oh, could I cook dinner tonight?
Do you plan to prepare something that would be considered a crime against the culinary arts?
And nature.
In that case, let us invite the lights.
Snaky face, there you are, and in one piece no less. Nothing about that statement fills me with dread. Listen, you can't get mad at Logan. Given that since the two of you have started to collaborate and create even more chaos in my immediate vicinity, I can assure you I most certainly can get mad at Logan.
No, absolutely not. Put down that tin immediately. Custard is banned by the rulebook, and you know it.
It's not custard.
It is a tin marked custard powder.
Exactly, custard powder.
I would argue that that counts as the same thing.
I offer the rebuttal that you're talking out your arse. This needs water to be added for it to be custard, and I'm not going to do that because that's against the rules.
I guess not.
It's more like custard and potential.
What do you plan to do with it? Remus.
Did you know that custard powder is also super flammable? I'm going to pour it in a tube and blow it next to a Bunsen burner, and I'm going to make the best rendition of Chariots of Fire ever.
I permitted the custard powder on the merit that it was not actual custard. However, I see that you have just added some liquid to the powder, and so I am going to remind you that custard is banned. Remus!
Don't know what to tell you. This ain't custard.
It does not bear a striking resemblance of custard to me.
Well, to get custard out of custard powder, you've got to add water. I did not add water.
I am almost scared to ask what you did add.
Concentrated sulfuric acid. Look, see? It's already melted the spoon.
So it is.
So I put it to you that this is not custard, since custard is not known for its spoon-dissolving properties.
Having seen this substance in action, it is not to go anywhere near myself, my room, or my personal belongings. Agreed?
Okay.
There is thankfully not much. Do I want to know where you intend to...
I'm going to fill Roman's sword scabbard.
He'll love that. Remus! You will answer for the sorry state of my sword.
I fixed it, like I said I would.
I still do not know why I trusted you to provide me with a new sword after you melted the last one.
Because I promised upon my own brother's life
I wish you would stop saying that quite so frequently.
that I would restore your blade as good as new. And I did. I even made it extra sharp, just for you. You're welcome.
The hilt.
Well, I only promised not to meddle about with the blade, so I decided to make some improvements on that boring old sword handle of yours. What do you think?
It looks like a...
Patent's done a number on you if you can't even say it.
You shouldn't either.
We'll stick to euphemisms then. It looks like a boner.
I would be brandishing my sword at you right now, but I cannot bring myself to touch it.
You could always grab the sharp end and waggle the trouser snake at me.
Ugh, you are the worst.
Thank you. It worries me how often I have to remind you not to bite. I didn't bite. It was a little nibble. A munch. A chew. A taste. Ugh. And furthermore, brush your teeth. Your mouth smells like something died in there. Not a compliment. Hey, are you ready for round 2 of I Can't Believe It's Not Innocent? Remember, these are all euphemisms for male anatomy. Ready for the answers? Trouser snake. Janus hates that one. Hammer. Half-peeled banana and purple helmeted warrior. Remus, you have been too quiet for too long and I am not at all concerned. And what have you got in your mouth? It occurs to me that I definitely want to know. It's bees! I made a cross stitch.
I recall your aptitude for textiles, and your habit of embroidering rude or explicit words or phrases. I allow the saucy limericks only because it keeps you out of mischief for hours. However, I shall remind you that there is a rule forbidding you from sewing, stitching, knitting, etc., 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 expletives.
I know, so I didn't. Wanna see?
Go on then. I believe I just mentioned that there was a rule banning you from cross-stitching swear words.
So I didn't. Look closer. Not a single stitch of an expletive.
How very uninspired.
I'm going to frame it and hang it on the wall.
Patton usually sits over there when he comes to the book group. I think the wall opposite would be a terrible location for your latest artwork.
Ah, Remus, there you are. I have something of a situation that does not require immediate resolution. I might have borrowed Roman's lipstick for the skirt photo shoot and then neglected to return it.
That's called stealing.
A technicality. I need you to distract him so that I can sneak it back into his room and stop him calling me a pilfering python all the time.
Sure thing. I'll even make you a replacement in case you ever want to wear lipstick again.
I am ungrateful.
Do you want to learn something cool about lipstick?
Something tells me that I do not want to know.
Did you know that some lipsticks contain fish scales to get that shimmery look?
And what percentage of this lipstick, Remus, is fish scales?
All of it. It smells like rotten fish too, as an added bonus. You
It was lovely to see you at the book group today, Patton. And thank you again for bringing the cookies.
like them then?
Not only did they taste delicious, but that you had shaped them into little snakes was a charming gesture.
See you next week, kiddo.
All right then. See you later. Bye-bye.
Ha! You are such a two-faced liar.
Did you know there's a James Bond villain with a sharpened rim round his hat? You should get one like that, Snaky. I shall definitely be taking headwear advice from one with a perpetual screw loose. There's something to be said for a loose and sloppy screw. That seems inefficient. A screw ought to be properly affixed to perform its function adequately. Are you saying you prefer a tight screw, Logan?
Yes.
Remus! Relax, I'm just screwing about. Logan, pass me one of your vocab cards, please. Certainly. Thank you. A screw is not a colloquial term for copulation. I meant to write that. There are a great many words not related to fornication. If you intend to list each one, I shall need more vocabulary cards. Ha! You screwed up. Screw it. Remus! That's my cue to leave. Bye, Logan. Remus, I would like to amend my answer to reflect upon the fact that I was referring only to the metal fastening with a helical thread. Very well, let us get this over with. Come on, Remus, spit it out. I prefer to swallow, but I can't. It's too gross. If I was not perturbed by you idly wondering which would be better for removing my eye, an ice cream scoop or a melon baller, then I think I can certainly handle what fresh, filthy thought is occupying the space between your ears. Just say it before you spontaneously combust. There is a rule against that. 288! It's too gross! A gross is a mathematical term for 144. Therefore, 288 is indeed too gross. Remus has utilised the homonym wording of two and two, as well as the alternative meaning of gross as something distasteful, to mislead for humorous effect. The joke is always so much funnier when you have to explain it. Shut it, Snaky! You wouldn't have even got the joke if it wasn't for Logan. I would have.
Liar.
Knock, knock.
I'm naked.
You're lying.
I'm a disease vector for Ebola.
Again? Unlikely. It seems I am more than welcome to come in. You do not have to open the door if you do not want to. I just wanted to check in on you. You have been somewhat subdued of late. You recall you were to tell me if you were feeling bored, yes?
Not bored.
Well, that is terrible news. However, I get the feeling that there's something still amiss. Is something wrong?
No, not yet.
Remus?
Well, ever since I nearly cooked you, because I thought you were too cold but you were actually too warm, I've been thinking that maybe you've had enough. And then I start thinking of all the ways I could get you to stay. To make you stay. My head's not normally a place of sunshine and rainbows, but even for my standards, my thoughts have been extra grim. And if you knew the things that were in my head, then you definitely want to leave.
Tell me.
What?
Tell me. Your thought process sometimes terrifies me, but I've not yet balked at the excessive eccentricness of you.
Well, I was thinking to make you stay, I could remove several of your leg bones, or super glue your face to the wall, wire your spine with explosive, or poison your tea, or cut your tendons, or encase you in carbonite, or... Sneaky, you still there?
No. I have run screaming to Patton for a reassuring hug.
I would offer further assurances that I have no intention of leaving, but as the embodiment of deceit, I can understand your reluctance to believe me.
I do believe you. Almost completely.
Let us leave the unwavering naivety for the light sides. Your wariness is well earned. I do not always tell the truth, and you accept that more than most. This does leave us in something of a predicament, however, since I am not best placed to alleviate your fears. I may not have a plan. Logan.
Yes, Janus?
Let us first engage in small talk, as befits social expectation.
Let's.
Your necktie today is very nice. Pink polka dots suits you so well.
Appreciation. I hope that your sleep cycles of late were satisfactory. If they were not, I express sympathy.
Nice weather we are not having, given our metaphysical location.
Indeed. Your idea to have an abridged version of small talk to initiate conversation was a good one. I find it most humorous.
Entirely my idea, of course. Speaking of Remus, he is the reason I have come to approach you.
Oh?
Remus needs some assistance. It is a trivial matter that I would have no problems addressing myself. He is beset by troubling thoughts, and I would absolutely hate for you to help remedy the situation.
I shall see what I can do. Remus, may I come in?
You would not like it in here.
In that case, we will have the conversation through the door. Janus informs me that you've been having issues with troubling thoughts.
Yeah, nothing I seem to do seems to stop them, and they're getting really loud in my skull. I feel like everything's at rupturing point.
So let us try something new. I want you to imagine the worst possible outcome for one of your thoughts if you were to act upon it.
That's exactly what the problem is. I keep imagining terrible things happening, and then, because I'm me, even more devastating things happening.
Your vivid imagination is one of your strengths. I want you to envision the most catastrophic scenarios so extreme that they become ridiculous. Trust me.
Well, okay. So if I was to stop Snaky from leaving, I might nail gun his feet to the floor.
And then what would happen?
Then he'd probably start getting really annoyed at me for trying to find out if he had toes or not, and bleed all over the carpet.
And then what would happen?
Then he might lose his balance and fall face first into the carpet and the blood and start drowning.
And then?
And then Roman would try to save the day, and he would chop off Snaky's legs, and then there'd be even more blood, and then Patton might come in, and he would faint, and he would start drowning in the blood too, and then everybody would be splashing and choking in the blood. It probably wouldn't be as bad as all that.
Try another.
Okay, well, if Janus left, then I might tell everybody that he eats nothing but live kittens, and when he says he doesn't, they don't believe him because he's deceit.
And then what happens?
Well, every meal they present him with a live kitten under a clouch, and Janus doesn't eat it, and so everybody starts worrying that he's starving himself.
And then?
Well, then Roman, in an effort to save Snaky from himself, starts jamming the kitten down his throat. His mouth doesn't open that wide, so he starts spluttering and choking, and Patton is probably weeping in the corner, and Anxiety's probably laughing because he knows that Janus doesn't eat kittens, and Roman is still trying to make sure that the kitten is getting into Janus's mouth, and it's struggling and clawing and mewing, and then Janus chokes and falls down dead, and then Anxiety says you shouldn't play with your food, and Patton starts to laugh, and then the kitten starts to claw its way out through Janus's throat and out his chest like a chest buster. And it's got teeth for blood now, so it attacks everyone. Hey, this works. But what if Janus does leave?
Then what would be the worst outcome for that?
Nothing. That's it. That's the worst possible thing.
Has he said that he is going to?
No. But he is deceit, lying on kind of his whole stick.
Then let us analyse his actions rather than his words. Has he made any indications that he plans to?
No. Not even when I told him all the grotty thoughts inside my head.
Any other observations, both to prove or disprove your concern that Janus is planning to leave?
He got you involved. That's kind of a big deal. He doesn't much like asking for help. But he could be trying to lull me into a false sense of security and believing him.
Why would he do that?
Because I'm really worried about it. When I worry, he tends to fret. Or maybe he doesn't want to be nail-gunned to the floor. Or both.
You know Janus better than I, and so I would posit to you that if he is concerned about how you are feeling, that even if he did leave, he would likely not cut off all contact. And you are welcome in my lab space, and I know that you and Roman have been spending more time together. So, even in the worst case scenario, it would not be as bad as you imagine. However, given the evidence of his actions, I do not think that he has plans to leave.
Really? I might still bite lock his favourite kettle to the water mains. You know, just in case. 3 things. 1. You are not a licensed acupuncturist, Remus. 2. There is no such thing as extreme acupuncture. And 3. Chasing Virgil around the place with a set of daggers has shockingly not improved his stress levels.
Ugh! I hate when it rains. I don't mind it. Better than glaring sunshine.
Because it would be so terrible for you to get a decent dose of vitamin D now and again.
Vitamin D.
Exactly what I meant, Remus.
Sunshine is indeed beneficial, as long as adequate sun protection is applied. No point today. It would just wash right off. Still, nice weather for ducks, though. Did you just say nice weather for... Wash your mouth out with soap and water, mister. We'll not have language like that around here. Patton, I know you like dogs, but you're barking up the wrong tree if you think you can cleanse Remus's filthy tongue. Popstar? That wasn't great. What?
Remus is most definitely not allergic to soap.
Oh, but it's just a saying.
That may be, but it would be of absolutely no merit to take account of the symbolism we are all steeped in. Remus is allergic to soap. He literally cannot wash his mouth out without causing harm.
However, if you do want boils and pustules, I can make myself look like I've made out with a poisonous jellyfish, covered in weeping sores that baffle medical science. Oh, please don't.
And so, if we were to move past the literal interpretation, trying to enforce punitive elements whenever Remus says something...
Spicy, naughty, downright dirty and delicious,
may cause him harm.
as well as being ineffectual. It is the truth. Requesting or demanding that he refrain is only likely to increase the frequency as a result. No one benefits.
That is not accurate.
There must be a way to get Remus to keep it, you know, PG. Oh, I could wear a gag to get me to shut up. A ball gag with an actual hairy ball in it.
Remus.
I was going to use a small coconut. Why? What were you thinking of, you vulgar viper?
You can no more force Remus to mind his words than stop Roman from bursting into song at any given opportunity.
Or prevent your puns, Patton. Though that idea is not completely without merit. Oh, I like puns. Hit me with your best, Patton. You sure? Because I'm a pretty punny guy. Yeah, Daddy, punish me. I don't get it. That pun wasn't even one of my best ones.
I am going to say now before I start to swear myself.
Yes, nobody going to explain to me what's so funny? Nope. Sorry, Pops, you're on your own. Oh, look, something over yonder beckons and leads me to not be here. Logan, do you have any idea?
Do you recall how you found a very small chopping board in the kitchen, but were subsequently corrected in that it was Remus's paddle and should under no circumstances be used for food preparation? Due to the cadence of his laughter, I believe that Remus is referring to paddle-esque activities.
Oh, my.
Hey, Sneaky, guess what they made for me in the light side? A swear jar! They did what? Remus, be a dear and go and fetch my staff. I feel a further conversation with the lights is in order. No. Simmer down, Snakey. It's a modified swear jar. The brain box and my brother came up with the idea. If I can think of a non-explicit way to express myself and not get Patton all in a fluster, then I get to put something in the swear jar. So far I've put in 3 slugs, 2 baby teeth, half a rotten apple, and an eyeball, and some toothpaste. And they have not placed a limit on how much you can add per day.
Nope.
Idiots. But at least well-meaning idiots. Logan, why is it that whenever Remus sits down, he starts laughing maniacally?
Individuals most often laugh when they are happy or amused.
Give me strength. Why would Remus be so amused at the thought of taking a seat?
Oh, I did recently inform him of the medical term for the tailbone.
I am sitting on my coccyx. Remus, good afternoon. I've just finished brewing a pot of my favourite tea, and I'm happy to share. What new nonsense is this?
I made a lie detector.
I do not lie. I sometimes speak an untruth. Occasionally deceive. Fine! I frequently tell falsehoods. Now that I have seen your loud invention, will you take it away?
Nah, I thought I'd leave it out a day or two.
I look forward to hearing this thing blaring all day. Remus, you will dispose of this device, or I promise you will regret it.
Eep. So I'm going to take the device away and dispose of it right now.
So soon? Such a shame. Where is it?
Have you checked your butthole? Don't know why you're asking me. I haven't seen your stupid stuff all day. Eep.
Give it back.
No, you'll get mad at me.
Think you'll find I'm already mad at you.
Then you'll get even madder. A madder adder. See, I needed to block the door for one of my experiment rooms in a hurry, and your stuff was the first thing to hand. I don't think you want that door to be openable. Even I don't want that door to be openable.
What, and I already regret asking this, is in that room?
Well, you know how big a mouse is, right?
Yes.
Well, a moose is much, much bigger.
You made a moose. But they are herbivores.
Not this one. I made it carnivorous. And his antlers are prehensile, to grab prey.
Let us get some more boards and nails and reinforce that door. That is the moose room now.
It's so nice of you to invite us over, Janus. Here, I made some shortbread.
How terribly thoughtless.
Patton, have you perhaps forgotten something? Padre, did you leave your book behind again?
Again being a not insignificant word, given that this is a book group. Or at least it's supposed to be.
Oh, fiddlesticks!
Sticks, Remus. He did not say fiddle. Sticks.
Remus, you are highly amused by something. Should I be alarmed?
Nah, Deep Blue, you're safe. I'm laughing because Patton's been leaving cookies in the dark side. Some sort of friendly gesture.
Indeed, there has been a marked increase in the frequency of baked
Yes,
goods.
but what he doesn't know is that Janus thinks that I'm making them. He thinks I'm leaving these cookies about the place trying to bait him into eating something of undisclosed terribleness. And he's been putting them in the bin. It's a pity. Snaky's been missing out. I've been stealing some of the... Can I draw the worst thing I can think of? Oh! There. That's the worst thing. It's a creative block. They suck. Wait. I can make it worse. There. Because Roman getting all creativity contemplated would be the worst. Especially if the block was literal and not figurative. And then you got all splattered. Then everybody would be sad. They'd all be weeping and wailing and moaning, and I'd have to steal Roman's shoes to throw at their heads to try and distract them. Shut the front door on my bits. I do not have to wait for Roman to get flatinated to steal his shoes. He's got to sleep sometime. Remus. What? Nothing to do with me. Why do you always assume I've got something to do with every single unexplained explosion? Experience. Oh, what is that stench?
Oh, maybe it does have something to do with me. That smells like one of my stink pellets. Necrotized gums and essence of skunk. No again. Forgive my pungent presentation, but I came to return your blunderbuss, Remus. I apologise that it is in a somewhat damaged state.
Damaged? It looks halfway inside out. Look at all the jagged bits of sharp metal.
I am deeply sorry.
It's beautiful. Other than fragrant, are you okay, Logan?
I am. The blast was focused outwards.
The blast?
It would seem that Roman has taken objection to my efforts to corral the sides to bed when the hour draws late, even though I am utilising a non-violent means in the form of Remus's stink pellet-armed blunderbuss.
Violence is always an option.
When I deemed it time to go to bed, I raised the blunderbuss to encourage movement away from the television. Roman then jammed a turnip into the end. The turnip caused build-up within the barrel of the gun and it exploded.
Wait. Where was Roman?
At point-blank range.
You mean he took the full blast of the stink pellet?
And a half-cooked turnip to the chest. He's unharmed but rather upset.
I'll say he's going to stink for days. This is amazing.
Logan, I am knocking at a reasonable volume and at a reasonable time.
Greetings?
Take this nuisance off my hands before I have cause to end him. Apparently, I'm an embarrassment to the dark sides. He loves me, really. You can tell because I'm not murderated yet. Yet being the operative word. Keep him out of trouble while I go and have a bath. And a glass of wine. Maybe 3.
To take 3 baths seems redundant as long as the first has been sufficiently cleansing.
He's really peeved. Mostly at me, but now a little bit at you too, Logan.
Unfortunately, it would seem so.
Maybe we should do something to make up to him. Oh, we can make him a bath bomb.
He might like that.
With potassium. But potassium is an alkali metal. Those react with water. In the case of potassium, it releases so much hydrogen so rapidly that it ignites. Yeah, a literal bath bomb.
I no longer feel that Janus will like this.
But you're going to let me go into your lab and do the experiments anyway.
I'm disinclined to agree with you.
If I'm experimenting on bath bombs, then I'm not annoying Snaky.
Reluctantly, I concede to your point.
Great, let's go.
I think that I too may like a glass of wine.
I wonder what happens if you put potassium in wine. Oh, I've got another one. How does Janus measure stuff?
With a set of scales.
In inches, because snakes don't have feet. You are testing the limits of my patience, Remus. Now you're going to have a hissy fit. And then kill me in cold-blooded murder. That does it. Remus, snap. You are now under my complete hypnotic control. I am under your complete hypnotic control.
What the H-E double hockey sticks? Remus?
Just a little something I've been working on. What is your command, O Snake Master? I can't believe you fell for it! Foolish fools. But seriously, Remus, knock it off with the snake jokes. Certainly!
Hey, kiddo.
Patton?
So, Remus has brought me something, and I'm a little confused. And scared. But mostly confused.
You appear to have a bowl of peas. Each one of the peas has a little face drawn on it.
Yeah.
None of the faces are screaming or depicted as being in pain, and they are nowhere near a blender, so no rule has been broken. Do not concern yourself with that. Did Remus say anything when he gave you this?
He said it was in thanks for all the bin cookies. I don't really know what he meant by that. Then he laughed. Then I got nervous and backed away. Then he demanded I take the bowl with me, and then I came here, and then I called you because I really don't know what to do with it. Is it going to explode or scream or do something else horrible?
I believe I have figured it out.
You're so smart.
I believe this is a peace offering from Remus. A peace offering, if you will.
Did you just make a...
No. This is what I believe Remus is trying to convey. He knows that you have an affinity for puns, and the peas are likely reference to the pea soup incident.
Oh, I am going to make that kiddo so many cookies.
Logan is super smart. Maybe even more so than Snaky. But do not tell him I said that, because he will go into an outrageous huff. Logan also doesn't get his knickers in a knot over weird concepts like good and evil and other stupid labels that don't make any sense. It means you can talk about something gross or disgusting, and he doesn't angst that he's a terrible person for having such a conversation, which is good. He also knows so much about so much, and he makes me laugh. He's fun to hang out with. His sense of humour is drier than a popcorn fart, but he's got a very keen observational wit. I also think he knows more idioms than he lets on. He hates to be laughed at, and he definitely doesn't like to be seen as ignorant, so why would he seek out clarification when something has multiple meanings? Best I can tell is he likes to make sure that everybody's on the same page, or draw a conversation back to its original focal point. He's sharp as a tack, that one. Sharp as a sharp tack.
You are sure you wish to include my contributions?
Absolutely, definitely.
Very well. A lie is one of many tools that can be used to garner particular responses, such as music is often used to invoke particular emotions. Whereas I much prefer fact to falsehoods. I do appreciate that sometimes situations call for a more nuanced approach other than the blunt truth. Janus, in his role as deceit, often offers opinions and options that the others have not even considered. In this, Thomas is granted a wider range of words and actions to choose from. I also enjoy playing him at chess, even though he cheats. Moving the pieces around when he thinks I'm not looking provides additional challenge beyond the standard progression of a game, and I am grateful for the opportunity to hone my skills. I do not think he is aware that I know that he cheats, and I am disinclined to tell him. A little lie of omission of my own. I suppose you'll be expecting some form of honesty. Ugh, overrated. Remus is entirely tolerable, except for when he is not. He is excessively creative, sometimes to the detriment of my temper. He seems averse to sanity in both himself and others, and seeks to obliterate any shred of sensibleness with his very presence. In his own manner, however, he is affectionate, like the cat that deposits a half-chewed mouse in your shoe sort of way. He will stand up for those he cares about, but mostly I think because he relishes any opportunity to brandish that morning star of his. However, he is not shy about announcing his loyalties. I deeply resent that I can count upon Remus to have my back if things get tough. Logan possesses a sharp intellect and is well read in many subjects. I might even be inclined to say that his knowledge surpasses my own in certain areas. This, in my opinion, makes him too smart for his own good. I do, however, have appreciation that he lacks the same knee-jerk reaction to lying as some other sides I could mention. His recent collaborations with Remus have been a curious development and a cause for concern. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing, and Remus was already quite dangerous to begin with. An opinion piece on Remus, also known as intrusive thoughts, also known as the embodiment of the darker aspects of creativity. Remus is something of an oddity in that he is self-assured in his role. He seems to take genuine delight in being the embodiment of darker creativity. There is no topic too morbid, nor comment too crude, and he will have apparent glee in all that he does. He is inventive and curious, and I enjoy having him in the lab. I am getting used to his off-key singing, and the abrupt crashes, or him pushing me out the room when the environment has suddenly become hazardous. I had not appreciated how many household substances and chemicals could be utilized to provoke destructive reactions until Remus informed me of such. I think I would have preferred explanation over demonstration, however. Failing that, advanced warning to affix my safety glasses.
Janus is a sneaky snake. He is conniving and manipulative, and you can never quite tell if he's being honest with you or not, even if he says he is. He's petty and spiteful, and he'll hold a grudge until the stars burn out. If he's laughing, you might just be the brunt of the joke. And don't expect any warm fuzzy feelings from him either. He'd much rather chew off his own tongue than say something nice.
After pointing out so many of my character flaws, I would not expect a butt to follow.
You want me to show my butt? But he is Janus. He is sassy and smart, and he's my best friend. And this one time, he let me lick his eyeball.
On the agreement that you would stop asking and never mention it again.
Hey, Anxious Annie, what's up?
Remus, how do you keep getting in?
Uninvited interruptions are my speciality. I've got secret passages all over the place. I've even got one to Janus's room that he hasn't found yet.
Why would you want...
I like to watch him sleep and make sure his bed isn't broken. Anyway, what do you want?
You came into my room.
So I did. Aren't you going to ask me what I want?
I was going to ask you to leave.
Which I will, but not before checking that you knew that book group day is tomorrow. I've not seen you there, and so I wondered if the silly stuff-cut serpent had forgotten to mention.
He did mention. He keeps sending invites.
Wow, your bin is brimming. A trash can fire in dire need of a spark.
Do not set my bin on fire, Remus.
Well, at least he didn't leave you out. Hang on a minute, though. There's well over 40 invites there. That means Snakey must have been inviting you before even Logan started to show up.
Yeah,
Well, that's a super stupid thing to do.
inviting me? That's what I thought.
No. If you know the book group's on and know that you are welcome, then sending you a weekly reminder in the form of an invite is just a daft thing to do, and that's coming from me. It's pressure that I don't think that you want. Not literal skull-creaking, eyeball-rupturing pressure, but pressure all the same. Do you feel like your eyeballs are about to rupture? If so, you have to let me know, because I want to see. Well, maybe if you came to the book group, Sir Pentop would stop sending the invites.
I don't like going back to the dark side. Too many memories.
But not all bad. Like, do you remember that time I made a whole bunch of glowing crab squid eyeball thingies, and I set them up in pairs, and you made Thomas think that he was being watched in the night, and then, when he looked up, the thingies skittered off in different directions. He didn't sleep a wink that night.
I don't do that sort of thing anymore.
Well, duh. About me, you're stuck fretting over normal, boring stuff, like tax returns and posting schedules and what somebody thinks about something. If you ever wanted to spike the adrenaline levels and have a bit more excitement, I could totally lend you a knife-wielding fiend. Just say the word. The word is, a knife-wielding fiend. Anyway, you should think about joining the book group, because it would be great to see you there, and the book group's fun. I've got some Junji Ito books that I could lend you. They're really creepy.
I do hope that you continue to fuss, Remus. It is not in the least bit distracting.
Sorry, was thinking about lit dynamite in a petting zoo. Listen, I gotta go do a thing. Enjoy your extended dead tree epitaphs.
He means books.
Serpent Sinister, come and collect your pet pest. Janus!
Oh, are you talking to me?
Remus is driving me to distraction. He keeps playing the same section of a song over and over. I can hardly hear myself think.
This sounds exactly like my problem, and I will move immediately to remedy the situation.
Please, Janus. He did not listen when I beseeched him to stop. But maybe he will if you are the one to ask.
It is, if you have not noticed, book group day. You might have chosen not to attend, but I plan to read my book.
Oh, perhaps we should investigate.
It is book group day. Besides, Remus can do as he please. I agree, but Remus has been uncharacteristically unsettled today. Perhaps finding out which song he is playing might give some clue as to the source of his unease. Very well. Roman, will you lead on to the noisy nuisance? Remus! Remus! Please continue, you pesky piper.
Shut up! Remus, I swear I'm going to force that whistle down your throat. And Roman? Logan? Janus? What is going on?
I don't know about that lot, but I'm here checking in on you because you weren't at the book group.
I apologise. I of course asked Remus to come and annoy you.
He came round yesterday, wanted to make sure I knew I was invited to the book group.
Repeatedly, if memory serves. However, you have made your stance clear through lack of attendance. Come along, Remus, Logan. Let us return to the book group.
No!
You two are all tangled up like fishing around on turtlenecks. Virgil, Janus keeps inviting you to the book group, but you never show, which gets his trouser snake in a knot. And Janus, you keep sending Virgil invites to a thing he already knows he's invited to, and heaping on the pressure, which gets his hoodie all heckled. The pair of you need to have a conversation.
He hisses at me.
So hiss then, or use semaphore, or express yourself through the medium of interpretive dance set to atonal jazz. I don't care, just have a conversation already.
Why do you care anyway, Remus?
Because you not coming is stressing Patton out.
But Patton rarely attends.
I know, that's the point. Try to keep up. Virgil doesn't come to the book group, which means that Patton worries that he's leaving Virgil behind and on his own, which means that Patton, even when he does turn up at the book group, is sometimes distracted and forgets his book. This annoys Snaky, and he gets uppity because he thinks nobody cares about his book group. Then he gets all snippy and defensive, which doesn't react well with Roman because Roman is extra sensitive right now. That means that Roman doesn't turn up to the book group, which means that I don't get to hear about all those great new ideas. So I figure if Virgil comes to the book group, then Patton will come to the book group because he likes big meetings, and Snaky will be less of an asp, and Roman will be there, and we can all read and write and draw in books. Yeah?
I note that you did not include me as part of the group collective, Remus.
That's because you're entirely copacetic, Logan. You come along to the book group on time, read your book, and don't make any fuss. If it wasn't for you, Snaky would have called the whole thing off as a miserable failure months ago.
Okay, if I show up to one book group, will you promise to never play that song again?
I promise to never play that song on the tin whistle again.
That's not what I asked.
That's the best you're going to get. I am fed up fixing things. It's so much more fun to break stuff. I did think about breaking bones in an effort to get people to come to the book group, but then I thought you'd be even less likely to turn up. And this means a big deal to Snaky.
Hardly.
Even though he denies it. So I want it to work. I even had a plan B thought up for if people don't come along next week. It involves tasers.
There will be no need for that. I shall stop sending Virgil invitations. And I'll turn up. For a bit. Maybe.
Yes! Wait. Does this mean I don't get to use the tasers?
Logan, Stigma, look at what I did.
Logan, before you turn around, might I borrow your glasses momentarily?
I suppose so.
Thank you.
Hmm.
You can thank me later. It is unlikely I will thank you for interfering with my glasses, Janus. Fortunately, I have a second pair.
Not so fortunate. Remus has no clothes on.
Oh. Remus, I will refer you to the rule book and the rule about being naked in the common area.
But I want to show you something awesome.
Close, Remus, now.
Ugh.
The lime green tutu is a marginal improvement. He has some semblance of coverage now, Logan, should you really wish to turn round. That is not terrifying in the slightest. Oh, my Newton.
I get my belly button teeth.
Fascinating.
What? What?
Did you connect it to your digestive tract, Remus, or route it through your stomach? Are there contracting muscles that will allow the teeth to bite?
Yep, and I added extra jaw bones too.
An internal second jaw, like an eel. Genius.
Remus,
Hmm?
I was with Janus last night, assisting him in compiling tasting notes on a bottle of wine.
That's what he's calling it these days? Compiling tasting notes? When the hour drew late, my phone sounded suddenly. I have set a regular alarm to remind me when it is time to start winding down for bed, and so I apologised for the sudden noise. Janus then said something interesting. He said it was nothing compared to the racket of your lie detector. I found myself curious. Do you still have the device?
Not anymore. I definitely disposed of it because otherwise Sneaky was going to get properly mad at me.
You made a lie detector.
Sort of.
This is incredible, Remus. So far, our best and brightest have not been able to compute an accurate formula for determining absolute truth. This is a breakthrough, a marvel. So, I did make a device, and I did tell Sneaky it was a lie detector, and he did believe me, but that might have not been the most accurate description of what the thing was.
Not make a functioning lie detector?
No.
But Janus thinks you did.
Yes.
What did you make?
I got a box, and I put an alarm in it, and then I attached the alarm to a button. And then I put the button in my pocket and pressed it every time I thought that Snakebutt was fibbing. He was so distracted at being caught out, he didn't even consider that the box might be a trick. I really thought he would have got it, and then we'd have laughed, and then probably taken it over to the light side to fool Patton a bit. But he didn't catch on, and I'm now too scared to tell him. If he was angry at me for making a lie detector, could you imagine how furious he'd be when he discovers that I didn't make a lie detector? Wait, you're not going to tell him, are you? I will not. Having witnessed Janus's temper, I think it best that he remain oblivious to the true nature of the device that you created. Hey, do you want to see my Roman as being boring detector?
Is it another box, alarm and button device?
Exactly! That took you, what, 3 seconds? It's been weeks and Roman hasn't figured it out at all yet. How much does Remus's scribbling not annoy me when I am trying to read? Oh, somebody's trying to be clever. How cute. Remus's scribbling in his sketchbook genuinely doesn't annoy me. In fact, if he is scribbling in his sketchbook, he is not bored, and the sound helps to keep track of where he is. It is more reassuring than the long periods of silence where he could be getting up to who knows what. Giggling or laughing, however, is another matter. One of the oldest and most important rules in the rulebook is that if the thought of something makes Remus giggle, laugh, maniacally cackle, titter, chortle, you get the idea, for more than 10 seconds he is not allowed to do it. This prevents incidents on a regular basis. If he starts to laugh and it doesn't quite hit the 10-second mark, I've learnt that he has a particular grin that means that he has had one of his very good ideas. In that case, I usually take the opportunity to put as much distance between myself and Remus as possible. Sometimes I will even warn the others accordingly. Sometimes.
Hey, kiddo! Janus?
I did not hear you the first time.
Oh, I said, hey, kiddo!
I am not relaxing.
Ah, I'll leave you to be a lounge lizard then. Patton, while there are many similarities, snakes are not technically classed as lizards. Sounds like you've got reptile dysfunction, Pat. Given that he has snake-like and human-like features, I believe Chimera would be a most apt description of Janus. You're both talking dribbly poop. He's a metaphysical construct. Would that make him a metaphysical construct of a chimera, or a chimera of a metaphysical construct, I wonder?
What I am is increasingly irritated.
Hello, increasingly irritated. I'm Dad.
Ready for some more sketchbook? Because I am. These are more things that can be used to describe genitalia. So, we've got an eggplant or aubergine, fire hose, joystick, junk, and a stiffy. Remus, what have you done now?
I made a smoke machine. It's atmospheric for the spooky season. It turns out you can turn almost any machine into a smoke machine if you stuff enough jam and gloves and batteries and paper clips in it. By the way, we need a new toaster.
After calm and careful consideration, I have decided that I am going to murderate you.
Eep. You're lying, right? Right?
I'm kidding. Of course I'm kidding. I'm being atmospheric for the spooky season. And that is enough of a head start to be sporting.
Hey, nope, nope.
What do you want?
To cause an entire species of bees to go extinct because I ate them all.
Moving swiftly on from that charming notion, what do you currently want my attention for?
Are we doing anything for Halloween?
I have extensive plans.
Oh, we used to deck out the place great, with blood and spiders and spider blood and bloody spiders. How come we never do that anymore?
It was always not Virgil's favourite time of year.
Oh, yeah.
Besides, you've got your mural wall. You can decorate that with just as much viscera and arachnids as you please.
I guess.
What had you in mind? You are all not at all welcome to the Dark Side Halloween party!
Thanks for inviting us. How could I refuse? I am, after all, a life of the party.
Roman! Great costume! I mean, great costume.
In the interests of increased group cohesion, I too have decided to attend. I'm only here because Patton made me come.
Made you come! So hysterically funny. Anyway, make yourselves at home, or do not. And I made lots of drinks that are certainly not poisonous, because I'm a sneaky chap with poison in my
I mean
fangs.
venom.
Do I? No, I don't. And how dare you correct me? Now I shall sulk and huff like an overgrown toddler. I do not. I absolutely do. Fine, I guess I'll just have to caper and cavort around like an over-caffeinated headless chicken. Yeah, that's totally going to happen.
What was that?
That is our Halloween trick-or-treat door. You must certainly not knock upon it if you want a treat. That is most definitely not a trap.
Oh, goody.
What is that monstrosity? Don't let it out. I don't want a treat anymore. Seal the door.
This is going perfectly to plan. This is the worst Halloween party ever. Remus, dear,
Yeah?
there is a large live pig in my bed.
Yes. Her name is Gertrude. Gatsy Gertrude. 'Cause she farts. You're welcome.
No, not you're welcome. The words that I would like to hear you say are, I'm already working to remedy the situation, Janus. Or better yet, the pig is already gone.
You don't like it?
Of course I do. I can think of nothing better than sharing my bed with livestock.
But she's got a super important job in making sure you don't get too hot or too cold at night.
What?
See, a while back you said your electric blanket malfunctioned, and so I got worried it might do that again. But a pig can't malfunction, and she'll keep you warm, but not too hot.
It is a thoughtless gesture, but crucially, I do not want to share my bed with a pig.
Okay. I turned the pig into a living mattress for you to sleep on, and a porcine pillow too.
Somehow, that is worse. Remus,
Yeah? What have I done now?
I dread to think. But actually, I wanted to make note of something that you did recently that was not entirely terrible. But you said you loved the firecrackers and crackers and cheese. And then you wrote a rule in the rulebook about pyrotechnics at the dinner table. You did not set a small portion of the kitchen on fire. The crackers didn't even taste good after all that burnt-off black powder. But no, I was referring about your efforts to promote the book group.
Oh, yeah. I did great
You
there.
actually did. And there was one point in particular that you raised, that of Logan. His persistent presence was indeed part of the reason I decided to continue the book group, despite it having irregular attendance. Yeah, the bookworm likes books, and I think he appreciates having a bit of reading time scheduled into his routine.
And his company is not unwelcome.
I thought it would be truly terrible to make mark of my lack of appreciation for him. However, my verbal expression does not always accurately convey my feelings.
You mean that you are a sarcastic snake who struggles to be sincere?
That's one way to put it. So I thought perhaps a gift might suffice.
You want I should make something?
With supervision, yes. I've come across something that I think you would absolutely hate. What are your feelings on pus as an adhesive?
Contentious.
Can I make that a bit sharper?
Yes.
Can we use kitten leather as a backing?
No.
We should colour it rose green and putrid purple.
That is an unwise colour combination.
What about black and blue? Like a really good bruise or Logan shirt and tie?
Good idea. Can we cut up his tie to use as part of the project?
Bad idea.
It's done.
Dreadful. Logan, you're finally not here.
Janus, Remus. Hey, Deep Blue.
This is not for you.
Open it. A pin badge
With an extra sharp pin.
with an upside down letter E and an exclamation mark. Whilst researching the nature of untruths, which is, you probably do not know, is a passing interest of mine, I came across the language of logic. This is a mathematical language designed to provide complex formulae for proving or disproving falsehoods. Obviously of no interest, I read further to find that there was a series of expressions that could be used as shorthand. For example, an upside down A to indicate a universal quantifier, or F for false. The symbol on the pin denotes something that is unique, as verified by logic itself. I am aware of its meaning, something there is only one of. It's from both of us! It's a very nice type pin. I thank you for the gift. That was a lie. You do not like it. You've made an accurate and astute observation about my character. It is just a little disconcerting that you would view me as such.
I don't get it. Did I screw up somehow?
Surprisingly, no, I do not think so. Logan, I fear there has been a misunderstanding. Would you care to enlighten us as to what the pin means to you? Unique, singular, one of a kind.
Yeah.
Idiosyncratic, peculiar. A statistical outlier that complicates an otherwise cohesive data set.
Oh, douche me with acid.
I think what Remus means to say is that is exactly what we were trying to convey.
Not even a little.
I myself do not see uniqueness as a positive trait. Something rare and remarkable. Exceptional.
Yeah, you're brilliant. You're smart and fun to hang out with, and you told me all about shuriken and chainsaws and flame molds.
Logan, you are an adequate acquaintance.
Shut pot the duck, Jan. That was almost a proper compliment and everything. I do not know what to say.
Then, please, let us sit in comfortable silence instead. All this sentiment is getting far too saccharine for my tastes.
I like your new badge, kiddo. What does it mean?
It means he really likes the number 3.
And threesomes. Meaning sums involving the number 3?
Why, yes, Patton. How astute of you. I feel, Patton, I ought to correct you in what Remus means when he says threesome. But I shall not. Clean is a subjective term, especially when it comes to a certain dark creativity. Remus will willingly take mud baths or dust baths, but these rarely yield results worth the cleanup that has to ensue afterwards. Sometimes I will insist that he take a long soak in a bath of plain water, with perhaps a cup of pond water added to his preference, so that he does not fester. Remus has to be strenuously convinced that actively rotting is not a good thing. As for the odour, Remus has distinctive smell. It is something, by unspoken agreement, that we do not remark upon very often, as any kind of warning that Remus is approaching is valuable, and so the less Remus knows about how much he gives away by his odour, the better. Well, I'm not at all more likely to alert Logan over the others when Remus is having one of his good ideas. It is a far more pressing matter to make sure that a certain undisclosed orange side is made aware when Remus is in full-on Remus mode. For both Remus's and his sakes. This helps prevent
Shouting matches. Bloodbaths. All-out war.
cohabitation complications considerably.
For starters, I do not get drunk. I have excellent self-control, and whilst I enjoy a drink or two, I am always very restrained. I do not see you there, Remus. And secondly, have you met him? Helpful is not a word I would use to describe anything he does. He is far more likely to draw things on your face when intoxicated, or try to convince you to get an ill-advised tattoo, or encourage writing down scathing letters to those who've slighted against me. I mean you.
Yeah, but now thanks to the rulebook, I only ever use pen that will definitely wash off eventually without the use of an acid bath. And the tattoo gun is under a time lock. And I always eat the letters before they make their way to the intended target. And I only stapled you to the catch that one time. Remus is allowed to freely drink whatever he likes, be it coffee, alcohol, or water out the toilet. And so, with such a sophisticated palate, you can be sure that whenever Remus mixes alcoholic beverages, I always request a glass, knowing that the contents will be ever so safe and sanitary. And that's when they're not garnished with eyeballs or asbestos around the rim of the glass. And we do not mention the cocktail incident ever. Damn it, that one was almost palatable until you told me what you stirred it with. That was a good day. I just got over a period of being bored, like properly, terribly, awfully, painfully bored, and the rulebook was brand new. So I was thinking of what I could do to stop being bored again. And I had a really good idea. And I started to laugh, and laugh, and laugh, and laugh. And Snaky, poor Snake Butt, he thought this was a good thing, because if I was laughing then I wasn't bored. So when he next went to the fridge and opened it, out poured a whole stream of lava. And his trousers caught fire. And so he tried to turn the taps on to get some water on the situation. Only the taps were filled with more lava because I'd filled the water mains. One of my shoes still retains a slight sulfuric scent. But that was not the sole reason for the rule. It was the aftermath that prompted the addition of the 10-second rule. See, not only was the fridge destroyed at this point, but the rest of the kitchen was encased in very, very hot rock, and the water mains were all melted. I did try to fix that, but kind of fixed it worse. Who knew deodorant wasn't watertight? Everyone. Anyway, that meant we had a flood as well, and the cold water and the hot rock happened, and then the steam exploded up and blew a hole in the ceiling, which I thought was great, but the others were less impressed by. The whole mess took weeks to clean up. Not least because Remus took every opportunity to help. During which time it quickly became apparent that when Remus started to laugh, there would usually be a compounding complication that followed in his next actions. And so the rule was added. And from then on frequently amended, revised, modified, and adjusted accordingly. I have a lot of very good ideas. Hello, undark dweebs.
Good morning, Remus. What have you got there? I'm already backing away.
It's for you.
A frog?
No, it's a toad.
I should have known. It's totally different. There are many features by which to identify a frog compared with a toad, not limited to their spawn, the webbing on their hind legs, the body mass distribution, and the texture of their skin. Oh, and you give it little spikes all over its top lip.
Yeah, sharp, sharp spikes. Like a danger moustache, because moustaches are awesome.
Really, your ludicrous creations are just too bizarre for words. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because, brother dearest, I didn't make it up. It's really real. It's called a mustachioed toad, and it's called an Emmy. What does that mean about you, if you can no longer tell my twisted imagination from reality? Ow!
You know the rule. No inducing existential crises on the nature of reality until after breakfast.
Yeah. So, I would consider it a personal favour to myself if we did not mention this to Snaky. Did not mention what to me? The long-term effects of scurvy, because it's really gross. Although, if you want to find out more, it is super interesting. Like, did you know if you have long-term scurvy, all your old wounds start opening up, like, pop, 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 all over your body, even the ones that healed years ago? Logan, what has happened to your tie? Don't tell me. I can take an educated guess. Remus. Before you get mad, Logan said I could.
Logan said you could shred his tie.
Yes, let's say that. But Remus, I did not give you permission to shred my tie. But we're going to say that you did to avoid a whole bunch of knocked off noodles.
Exposition now.
So, you remember how I give my belly button teeth?
Well, Logan had loads of questions about it, and I thought he might appreciate a wider data set to collect information from, so I offered to give him one.
You gave the embodiment of Thomas's logic a belly button with teeth.
Yes, but I asked first because that is one of the rules.
He did, and I did give permission.
And it was great because I had a belly button with teeth and Logan had a belly button with teeth, and we each had a bit of spaghetti and we tried to eat it the fastest and I won. And then I said, could I put my finger in Logan's belly button? But he didn't want to do that. So then we got some jam, and that was amazing because it looked like a rupturing gut because it went everywhere. It was a regrettable waste.
But then Logan's belly button got hold of the end of his tie, and it started to chow down, and the tie got tighter, and so I conjured a hedge trimmer and sliced through it and saved the day and the brain. Yay! Yay for me.
Indeed, a timely intervention. Although, in future I might request a less aggressive cutting mechanism, as I found the proximity of it to my person somewhat alarming. I am going to go back to bed and convince myself this has been a particularly vivid nightmare. I bet Patton doesn't have to deal with this sort of thing.
Hey, Mr. Fancy Pants on Fire. When you're drinking your hot leaf juice out of one of your posh cups, do you ever get the urge to just bite down and crunch up all the shards of pottery into your gums?
Frequently.
Pass me a cup.
Are you going to chew on it?
Yes, I am.
With or without tea?
Without, but with 3 sugars. Remus, given your penchant for the macabre, do you know why they call it bone china? The traditional recipe calls for 50% of the clay used to craft the cup to be composed of bone ash. Oh, that's surprisingly accurate. Made of what sort of bones? Puppies? Orphans? Oh, did they use an orphan grinder? Mostly cattle. The cattle bones have a lower iron content due to their diet. But you could use any sort of bone, right? I suppose so. Hey, Sneaky, how about I make you a brand new tea set?
Please do.